a Yamaha SY-22 Vector synthesizer, which I think is a very cool synth. On the SY-22 you can have up to 2 sampled waveforms and 2 FM generated waveforms per patch, and then use the joystick to morph between them like this. Which is very cool. And I also happen to have an Ensoniq TS-10, and with the TS-10 you can create a Hyperwave. And a Hyperwave, for the ones that don't know what a Hyperwave is a wave list that you can create yourself from the internal wave samples. And you can use 16 of them and put them in a particular order and have them play for a certain amount of time before moving on to the next wave in the list. You can set a crossfade if you want, and by doing this you can create a drum pattern, a rhythmic pattern, arpeggios, or a soundscape like this. And that's where my idea came from for this tutorial. So here are the samples that we're using. So these are the 4 sounds that I dumped from Sample Range into the 16 Plus. So now I need to create nicely looped sounds from this, and to do this I use the bidirectional loop mode. And loop bidirection, for the people that don't know, works like this. It plays the sample forward, then at the end point it reverses, and start point it goes forward, and then it reverses until the key is released. So let's set up the loop points, and I'm setting the start point, the loop start point, not at 0 but at 7. And I'm setting the loop endpoint not at 99 but at 93. The reason for this I will show you. Hold on, I'll play the sample. So as you can hear, there are some clicks at the end of the loop and at the start of the loop, and I will use the bidirectional crossfade from the command wave page to smoothen out these loop points. The bidirectional crossfade uses a portion before the loop and after the loop to smoothen out the loop points. So that's why I use a start point of 7 and an end point of 93 for these settings. So now we're pressing command wave 9, and it will get us to the bidirectional crossfade page. So here we go, edit, command wave 9, and there we are at the bidirectional crossfade page. So right here, on this page I press yes. Use default values, no, because the default values will use a fade zone of just 1%, and that's not gonna work for this. It doesn't work for this sample. So I'm gonna set it at 7, the same as the loop start point, and I'm gonna set the scale depth to 3 dB. So now if I press yes, and it's processing, and then we can audition the result. And that sounds good, so I'm gonna keep it. I already set up the loop points for the other samples, so I'll switch those on. And for the third sample and the fourth one. So now we have 4 sounds, 4 sounds, not 5, that are fairly well looped. So let's make it into one instrument now. What I will do now is copy all these the instrument layers to instrument 1. So I press Command Layer and I scroll to the copy layer and I press yes and copy to instrument 1, yes. I go to instrument 3, copy layer, yes, to instrument 1 and copy layer in 4, yes. So we can delete all these 3 instruments now. We don't need them anymore. Delete instrument 2, delete instrument 3, delete instrument 4. So now when I press a key, you will hear all the 4 wave samples at the same time if I turn on layer 4 as well. Those are all the 4 wave samples sounding at the same time. So that's not what I want. I want to have them sound one after another. So let's set up some modulators to accomplish that. For the sound to get an evolving character, I will need to create some kind of crossfade between all the 4 layers. And to do that, I will use the volume modulator crossfade breakpoints, as Ensoniq calls it. And that means I will give each layer or each wave sample a fade in value and a fade out value between 0 and 127 in such a way that they overlap a little bit. So let's set it up. I'm in layer 1 and I press edit amp3 and it takes us to the fade in page, and I set the fade in from 0 to 0 and I set the fade out from 1 to 64. And let's go to layer 2 and edit amp3, set the fade in from 1 till 40 and the fade out from 49 till 107. And layer 3, edit amp3, let's set a fade in from 24 to 64, the fade out from 65 to 120, and then layer 4, let's set a fade in from 66 to 126 and then a fade out from 127 to 127. Now that we've set that up, let's go back to the layer edit page and set it to edit all layers, and then we press edit amp5 and we'll set the fade curve to linear, and linear creates a more smooth transition instead of the crossfade curve, which is more of an abrupt crossfade like a velocity crossfade or something. So that's that. We're gonna use the LFO to modulate the volume. So let's set up the LFO and let's set the wave to triangle, the speed to 8 and the LFO depth to 99 and no delay on the LFO. Let's set the LFO mode to reset on, so each time I press a key the LFO starts its cycle from the beginning. And I leave this page alone, I leave this page alone. That's that. Back to layer edit page, we're still in layer edit all, and we go to the edit amp page, and there we scroll to the volume mod, the volume modulation page, and we set that to LFO. We set the modulation value to 99, and let's listen to what that does. So that sounds pretty neat. So let's take it a step further and play some of these sounds together. Yeah.